Well, there are many forms, but y equals mx plus b is good. Okay, so what we're looking at is we want to write down the set of simultaneous equations that we would have to solve to find a linear function through these 2 points, a quadratic function through these 3 points, a power function whose graph goes through these 2 points, an exponential function whose graph goes through these 2 points. Okay? So we have to know the form of each basic function. So first thing we've got to know. So the form, okay, what's the form of a linear function? Well, you just said y equals ax plus b. Or mx plus b. Sometimes we use ax plus b, but mx plus b is what you're probably going to remember, and that's just fine. I'm sure everybody can write down the form of a quadratic function, but actually there are 2 possible forms. And you might choose to use one form or the other. Ax squared plus bx plus c. What's the other form?
Y equals ax minus h plus k.
Yeah.
Or squared.
A square that x minus h. Okay? You could use either form, and sometimes one form is more convenient than the other, but it's going to work out either way. And it's going to work out to the same function. Okay? If you get it in this form, then if you expand it, it can put it in this form, and you get just what you would have if you'd have put it in this form in the first place, and vice versa. Harder to go from this form to this form. Okay, what's the basic form of an exponential function, or the general form?
Y equals ABX.
Y equals AB to the x. Now, you've got to know this. Okay? And you should understand this in terms of the functions that we've been dealing with. We've seen lots of functions of every type, and we've done a lot of things with them. So, big red circle, something you have to know. Okay? Now, once you know the form, because if I ask you, give me the quadratic equation whose graph goes through these 3 points, you have to know that form. You can't do it if you don't know the form. I could ask you any one of the 4. Okay? You got to know all 4 forms. And linear and quadratic are easy. You're really used to those. You have to know the difference between a power function and an exponential. Exponential means your variable is in the exponent, right? And a power function is a power of your variable. Okay? So make sure we understand all that. Now go ahead and write down the system of equations for each of these functions. You don't have to solve it right now,
Okay.
just go ahead and write it down.